Hi, my name is Rob Franks. I'm one of the sports medicine doctors at the Rothman Institute. And like everyone else, I've been infected by the COVID-19 pandemic and have found myself spending much more time at the house as opposed to doing my normal activities. This has been really tough for people, both athletic and non-athletic alike. However, I've been asked today to talk specifically about how to get through the pandemic and still be successful with esports. Esports actually has somewhat of an advantage over some of the other sports, considering the fact that this is something that you can do at home. However, just like the other sports, it also has some of the same struggles to try and remain competitive and keeping into a program while still dealing with everything that's involved with the COVID-19 pandemic. So what is specific for esports with the pandemic? Well, as far as esports is concerned, you can practice right here at home. That's helpful because with a lot of our athletes right now, social distancing is keeping people apart. The great thing about esports is that we lose some of that mental stress of social distancing because we can distance with one another over the internet while we're gaming. But we also can't forget the basics of things that we need to do to stay healthy during the pandemic. My recommendation is that we need to maintain our aerobic fitness. We want to try and get out and take a brisk walk, take a brisk jog, go out and do a bike ride. And even though as an athlete, it's not normal for us to wear a face mask, I think it's important in this case to do so. This prevents us from spreading the virus if we're asymptomatic. Face mask may not prevent us from getting sick from somebody else. However, it is better than no protection at all. We also need to make sure that we maintain strengthening. Try and use anything that you have in the house that can give you some weight resistance so that we can do some strengthening. We can use resistance bands if you have them. Sometimes just plain things that you have in the house, like a sack of flour or maybe materials that you may have out in your garage, can be helpful to do curls or to do some kind of chest press to keep ourselves strong. So we've dealt with strength, we've dealt with aerobics, but we also have to look at diet. One of the biggest concerns that people have as far as the pandemic is concerned is weight gain. So one of the things that we want to really remember is the importance of maintaining a good diet. Being more sedentary causes us to snack a little bit more, so we want to make sure that our snacks that we use are something that is going to be positive caloric intake and is going to help us in terms of sports, trying to stay with fruits, vegetables, an unsalted popcorn, something that is going to be good for us but not help us to gain weight. It's also going to be very important to try and maintain 3 meals a day. And you want to try and do that with the right mix of carbohydrates, fats, and protein so that we can go ahead and maintain our diet even as we go through this pandemic. And finally, one of the things that we really want to remember is to try and take a break. The more time that we are doing on screens, and the idea that we have more times to use screens is going to give us more of the potential problems that we have with people who use screens all the time in their careers. We want to try and avoid headaches or eye strain because we're using screens more. Blue glasses can sometimes help with the blue light that's coming from a screen, but we also want to take a break from it. We need to take the break to, as we said, think about aerobic capacity and keeping our aerobic conditioning up. We want to maintain our strengthening condition. We want to make sure that we keep up with a good diet and just give ourselves a break so that we find ourselves in the best condition we can be once we are out of the pandemic. I hope this is helpful for you, and I wish all of the esports athletes health and safety as we continue to go through this pandemic together.